Hi, I'm Tyrone Mings, and you're listening to the Fantasy Threesome podcast, FPL.
Last week on the Fantasy Threesome FPL podcast.
As ever, I will start the year with very good intentions of being more frugal in terms of my point spend. No, this year, I know the one transfer, possibly two, that I'm going to make next week with fixtures in mind. Outside of that, I'm going to try and hold on to those wild cards.
Alisson in goal. Cancelo, Maguire, Harry Maguire, Harry Maguire, Manchester United. Hey boys, they're gonna hold that Manchester United defence around him. The FPL fiend is Harry Winks as that player number 3. 2.1% ownership. Home to Southampton. What a differential that guy is to come up.
I'm really dizzy. I might faint. I genuinely might faint. If you win game week 1, and I don't even want to think about what I do.
Okay. Yes, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Threesome FPL podcast. I'm Phil. I'm here with Mike. How are you, Mike?
Well, all right, mate. Yeah, great to be here after a weekend of football. What a pleasure it was.
Yeah, you were at a game, weren't you? At a game this weekend?
I was, yeah. Stadium announcing down at Bournemouth for a shock victory, some might say, against Aston Villa. Yeah, a real eye opener, and I got to do a bit of an eye test on some of the players that I've got in my team. And as you heard there right at the outset of our pod this week, I got to chat to one of the biggest fans of our podcast, Tyrone Mings.
Tyrone Mings, big fan. Often forgets the name of the podcast.
He does, bless him. But but yeah, loves the quiz. And we chatted for ages about the fact that he made my Sweary 11. Of course, you may or may not remember Tyrone Minge.
Yep. Remember it well. Does he have a favourite host?
He didn't say, but the way he looks at me, I think it's apparent.
Okay. Now, it's obvious to those watching online, but we are missing our third wheel. Not too much of a compliment, actually. But we are missing Anthony. He has decided to go to Australia for 3 weeks.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, long flight. Flew direct yesterday. He's got a big fear of flying, so he was very brave indeed. And
he was. I'm really sad he's not here because I wanted to discuss Maguire and Winks in particular in terms of his selections.
Yeah, that would have been good. I downloaded a tracker app so I could watch. Incredible, really. I signed up for like some sort of free trial, but I could watch
tracker app.
It's what was it called?
Was it named after the cereal bar of the 90s and noughties?
Terrible cereal bar. That really is. It's like, a tracker bar. I never had a tracker bar. Paul Deacon always used to have tracker bars, but not many people listening will know Paul Deacon. But yeah, it's called Flight Radar was the app, and you typed in the flight number, and it showed you where his plane was, and I knew it was on the runway. I knew it was soon to take off, and I could literally watch a simulation of his plane taking off. Like, it's got the GPS of the plane, tells you the altitude, everything.
Do you remember there was a day for some reason last year where we all just spent the day when we were meant to be working just watching planes land?
No.
Oh, that happened. Anyway,
what?
Sorry, back to your story. Yeah, that happened. Everyone was watching a YouTube channel where you just watched planes land.
When it was really windy. Yeah, I do.
Is that what it was? It was just windy, was it?
Yeah. It wasn't me. I was hard
No such turbulence for Ant, though?
No. I was watching his flight. I woke up. Well, I kept checking his flight because I was worried about him. And then I woke up at about 1:30 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning, set my alarm for 4:30 in the morning. So I knew he was due to land around 10 to 5. And then I watched his plane come in over the water towards Perth and land. And what a lovely way to start the day, seeing seeing your friend land safely. Incredible.
When you say you're worried about it, I mean, presumably you were fairly confident the plane would be okay. It was more Ant you were worried about.
I was just worried about his
imagine.
emotions. Yeah, worried about his
Well,
emotions.
you can't. And really, what you need for that is an on-plane cam
Yes.
or some kind of link to his heart. Some kind of heart monitor.
I feel like I've got a link to his heart through my own, but but I was watching the plane.
Yeah.
I was watching the plane land, and I was just hoping it wouldn't judder. I didn't want my screen to judder because I thought it'd freak out. But yeah, it's a smooth landing, so well flown, Qantas.
I love the idea of you cutting to him on the cam on the plane with a paper bag in hand, breathing in and out, with Bev trying to offer him boiled sweets and him snapping at her. It's a real shame that technology hasn't yet reached us, but I'm sure one day it will. Yeah,
give it time. Now, obviously, with Ant not here, he may or may not have sent over some Australian sounding audio clips, which may or may not sound very similar to vintage Neighbours and Home and Away characters. So yeah, that'll get played throughout the podcast. So it feels like he's here in spirit.
Something to look forward to. Okay.
So let's get on with the football. Strange first weekend, I thought. Arsenal Palace was the first game. That sort of went the way that everyone was thinking it might.
It went to script, didn't it? With the exception of a goal for Jesus. It was a pretty standard victory. It felt to me anyway.
He played better than I've ever seen him play in that first half. He was dribbling. He was playing tricks with the ball. It was like he was a FIFA player. He was really good, and certainly even though he hasn't scored, you look at that performance and think he's up for this. I'm definitely keeping him in my team. No need to panic. Arsenal looked very good. Martinelli got a goal, which would have pleased a lot of people who went him over Saka.
It pleased me, but for him being my first sub.
Seems a strange decision.
It was a strange decision. At the time, it was a toss-up for me between him and Sessegnon, so that actually sort of came good in the end. But yeah, there were plenty of players that he could have taken the place in the squad for, actually, in retrospectively. I thought Saliba looked decent. You bigged him up 2 years ago.
2 years ago, that's how hot I am on this. Yeah,
finally, he's starting
to. Up now, did I?
Yeah, he's starting to reach his potential now, though. 4.5 on the game. If I didn't already have 3 Arsenal players in my team, he's one I'd be looking to shoehorn in.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Ant, I saw Ant Saturday, and he said, I mean, that was the only game that had been played at the time I saw Ant. And he said, it's the week of if you got Zinchenko or you haven't, in a kind of partly smug way, because he had Zinchenko after talking up Tierney. But my worry with jumping on Zinchenko, who's now gone up in price, is that Tierney and him are going to rotate, aren't they? Or is Zinchenko going to get played as a left winger?
It's a good question. The system that they've got, I don't think he plays left wing. So
he was very advanced. He was very advanced.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah. Okay. Palace is a tricky one to judge, but
yeah,
it's tricky.
Yeah.
When you sell Benteke and then don't score in your first game, you've got to be living with regret, haven't you?
Hey, I'll tell you what I didn't notice until today is that Ayew is down as a midfielder.
Is he?
A 4.5 mil midfielder, no less.
Is he?
I might have made that up, actually.
It feels like you might have done. It sounds like exactly the sort of thing you would do.
Let me just check. Sorry about that.
I'm on it. He's a 5.5 million midfielder.
Oh, okay. Not so hot then. But with a lack of strikers, it looks like he's going to get plenty of game time there.
Yeah, could have. You put a bit of a bad tackle. The next game, though, Fulham Liverpool, bit of a shock.
It was. Yeah, I mean, Marco Silva, similar to Scott Parker, who we'll come to in a minute, had been lamenting the lack of transfer business done in pre-season, and you felt that Liverpool, off the back of a good win against City in the Community Shield, would turn up and kind of just take the.
but I don't know what's going on here. But your audio's gone AWOL. AWOL there, Mike. Are you there, Michael? Am I broadcasting alone now? Oh, it feels like I might be broadcasting alone, and that's not ideal. Michael, your face is frozen, and you look. Yeah, I'm going to take a picture of how bad your face looks, actually, because you look very aggressive. Yeah, you've frozen on my screen. Do you want to come out and go back in again? Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Great. Well, this will make for excellent viewing for anyone watching along on YouTube. So yeah, hopefully Mike will come back because we were just about to talk about Fulham and Liverpool. So I don't know what's gone on there. Let's press buttons and see what Ant thinks.
Stone the flaming crows, Vinny!
Yeah. Stone the flaming crows. Yeah. Who knows what's happening with Mike? But I know for sure I don't want to do this podcast on my own, particularly. So hopefully Mike will be back shortly. And if you're watching on YouTube post podcast, then hopefully it'll be right. I've got a text from him now. I can edit this out the audio. Where did you go? Mike's sent me some bad language. Isn't conducive to a family-friendly podcast. Are you coming back? It's a good question. I've just asked him. His internet has gone down. He's trying to turn it off and on again. Well, I won't be editing the YouTube video because this gets uploaded automatically. So if you get to this point, just fast forward until you can see Mike again, because otherwise it's going to be me sweating, quite a lot of sweat in the lounge. Oh, he's back. Hello there, Michael.
Oh, hello. I mean, presumably you'll edit this out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Where did you hear up to? I was giving some fantastic punditry.
So I'm going to go from talking about the Liverpool Fulham game.
Okay, great.
Next game was Fulham Liverpool. Then a bit of a shock.
Yeah, it was. And off the back of sort of the lead into that game was one. The narrative was pretty similar to Bournemouth, which we'll come to shortly, with the head coach sort of lamenting the lack of transfer business done in the build up to the game, and you just felt that really Liverpool had to turn up and they'd walk away easy winners, and didn't turn out that way. Mitrovic, 2 years late, turned up and started scoring some fantasy football points, but played very well, and clearly he's going to get a run of games that he didn't get under Parker last time out.
It's gone up in price already.
Has he?
Yep, 6.6.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I imagine a lot of people will be making that switch across. I thought he played well. I thought Nunes, when he came on, was absolutely fantastic.
We've got a question about him coming up in the listener questions.
Okay. I mean, I was delighted, I'll be honest, when Fulham scored, because I was straight on the WhatsApp thread to yourself and Ant with regards to clean sheet points going out the window with Trent. And I thought that for a minute there that Salah was gonna blank, but of course there are three things they say are certain in life: taxes, death, and Salah scoring. Disappointing from my perspective, but yeah, a good game, a good watch. But Liverpool are not consistently going to keep clean sheets. I really feel that. I remember having Trent last season and the season before, and the first, half a dozen games, I think that they failed to keep a clean sheet in both seasons.
Yeah, that happens at the start of the season, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Liverpool were a bit shaky at the back, and you could tell Mitrovic was pinning himself to the back post. That header he scored, he was just there. He was trying to get in behind Trent. I'll just see if Ant's got any views on this.
Oh yeah.
Stone the flaming crows, Vinny!
Thanks, Ant.
It's an interesting take.
Yeah.
What did anybody catch your eye for Fulham outside of Mitrovic, or just trying to sort of look for options outside of the obvious?
Well, I was thinking that this guy might get a start. Yeah, old Leno.
Oh wow, that's
Leno,
it. That's
Leno,
I'd forgotten
Leno.
about that. Wow. Okay, that's quite the sound clip.
It's quite the sound clip. Thank you, Shakira.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought he might start, but he didn't. I think he joined too late,
Uh-huh.
and so Rodak got the start. I think maybe he'll be a good call. Lots of save points potentially for him to make throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I was disappointed, but still have hope for Diaz. You know, if you're looking at 13.5 for Salah and 8 for Diaz, I mean, he hit the post, he had a goal disallowed.
Yeah.
He's my Liverpool pick. He's my only Liverpool pick at the moment, or he was. More on that later.
He's gone early again.
He really has. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Should we move on to Bournemouth Villa? Because
you may be able to offer a bit more insight on this one.
well,
I pinned my mast at the start of last week, didn't I? I said I'm targeting Bournemouth. I love Bournemouth dearly, but I'm targeting Bournemouth. So each week I've got it planned. I will have an attacker against Bournemouth, and so I
how'd
had
that work out for you?
I had Leon Bailey and
Didn't a lot of people?
and Matty Cash, but
Yeah.
Aston Villa, I think they won 3 away games the whole of last season.
Mhm.
So I'm holding on to the fact that they'll be better at home. And he didn't sub off Leon Bailey. He was more angry with other players. So I'm hoping Leon Bailey still starts again next week.
Well, I had a couple of Villa players myself. I had Cash also, but I had Coutinho, who I thought at 7 was really good value with the run of games they've got at the start. And you know what? He still may be. But he was absolute toilet on Saturday. And this is no word of a lie. The board went up. I think it was something like 75 minutes. The board went up and I announced Coutinho getting subbed for whoever he got subbed for. I forget now. It might have been Ollie Watkins. No, Ollie Watkins. Anyway, I dragged him off vocally and off he came. And I sat back down in my seat and I immediately transferred him out live at the match. So not only did I bring him off the pitch verbally, I also removed him from my fantasy football side.
Let's see if Ant's got any opinions on this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is just ridiculous.
Well,
Just ridiculous.
Yes. Well, it may well be
Quite impulsive.
Yeah, and look, at the same time, we'll come to that game in a minute. But at the same time, I swapped out Kane because I was furious. At the time, they were 4-1 up, and he'd had no goal involvement, and I was absolutely fuming. So I rage transferred twice before 5 p.m. on the first game day of the season.
But in the trail last week, you said you're changed. You're a changed man.
A leopard maybe does not change their spots. It's I have nothing but good intentions, but my willpower is sadly lacking.
What is going on with you? Come on, explain yourself. You've insulted Isabel. You've embarrassed me.
Embarrassed, Ant. You've insulted Isabel.
Yeah, and I understand that. And my apologies both to Ant and to Izzy for what's happened there. I'll give you more information because it does actually get worse than that. Okay. Anyway, the next game was Leeds.
Flaming Crosby!
Thank you, Ant. Thank you.
Okay. Leeds against Wolves. Did you watch this one? You see anything of this?
Well, I saw the highlights of Match of the Day. Obviously,
Yeah.
in the UK, we've got a severe disadvantage in that we can't watch these games. Danny Pedent scored, I heard on the radio. Came as no surprise. Bamford got an assist, but Rodrigo apparently was the standout. He made his own goal, really, and he looked most dangerous. He's a 6 million midfielder.
Yeah,
but
the
only downside is he got subbed off at 64 minutes, and that happens all the time with Rodrigo.
Do you know there was a defender in this game that is the defender who created the most chances this game week? Can you guess who it is?
I'm gonna go for Koch.
Well, surely there's an audio clip of that.
What is going on with you?
Thank you. Yeah.
Look,
yeah.
each to their own. But no, it wasn't. I'm afraid.
I'm proud of you, Cam. You're doing well.
Okay,
Thank
good. It was, in fact, 8 Nuri.
Was it?
Yeah. Most chances created.
Been burnt with 8 Nuri before. Wolves, we predicted that they might struggle, especially without Jimenez. You know, everyone was tipping Leeds to go down. This might be a good start to the season for Wolves, and Leeds looked like they wanted it more. In all honesty, and it looks like old matey boy might be going to Everton, doesn't it?
Yes, Connor Cody. Yeah, it's a weird camp at the moment. Connor Cody looks like he's leaving. Traore is still there, but not really there. There was a picture on Twitter of him out doing his shopping in his full kit, which was in Sainsbury's when that's right. They'd gone away on pre-season a couple of weeks ago, and he was photographed in his local Sainsbury's. It was the Sainsbury's local, in fact, in full kit, just doing his shopping.
Baffling.
Yeah, presumably looking for sunflower oil or something for those big old biceps. I think Wolves will be okay. I was giving this a bit of thought at the weekend. I think they've got too many talented players that will pull them out of and just pick them up points. It doesn't look a team to me, though.
Name me 4 talented Wolves players.
Dan Donker.
Okay.
Neto.
Yeah, I don't see the hype. There's such a hype in the FPL community for Neto.
There is, but I think that's partly down to his price at 5.5. So the hype is he's an enabler rather than a point hauler. They've got lots of players that are sort of half decent, haven't they?
Well, you got to 2, so well done. So the next
Thank
game.
you. Oh yeah, okay, yes.
Next game, Newcastle Forest. Now we got home about quarter to 4 on Saturday afternoon. We'd been at a friend's house, and then I said to my wife,
"What friend's house? What have you been doing? I didn't know about this."
Well, we're dropping back. Emma was sleeping over, a friend's daughter, and we're dropping her back. And then we went around there, had some lunch, came back, and I said to my wife,
Well, what did you have for lunch?
Pizzas, quiche, salad. I didn't have
Pizzas
salad.
and quiche.
Pizzas and quiche.
Good grief.
Crustless quiche. What's your view?
Oh well, it's the common man's frittata. I'm all for it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what we had. Crustless quiche.
It's the posh man's omelette.
Yeah. That's probably true.
It sits there.
Yeah.
Down the flaming crow's been
Oh, he's off again. He's off again.
Losing focus. So
He's
anyway,
off
you
again.
got home. You got home from your
got home
quiche
from that.
fueled.
Said to my wife,
social.
Is there any chance I can go and listen to the radio upstairs and just absorb the football? You know, first weekend of the season.
You're such an alpha male.
Is there any chance if I do the
Go
washing up
upstairs.
later and I tidy and you can have a lie-in tomorrow that I can go? I didn't say that,
Ooh.
and I can go to listen to the radio upstairs.
The little
on my
woman,
own.
she know her place.
And I sat there with a bowl of Greek yogurt with a drizzle of honey on top, just listening, listening away. It was wonderful. It really was.
What is going on with you?
Yeah, a bit of Greek yogurt. Loved it. So
Newcastle.
So I
Are you cheering
listened.
Newcastle on? I'm intrigued as a fellow Bournemouth fan and brother. Are you cheering Newcastle on because they are my second team with Ed?
I'm cheering Newcastle on because of Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
And they played. According to the radio, they were incredible. From the highlights I saw, they were absolutely dominant. And I've become engrossed in Miguel Almiron. I just wonder whether £5 million. I kind of want him in my team, especially Leon Bailey didn't do much, although I did say I'm not panicking. But Miguel Almiron, he's got Brighton away, then Man City at home, then Wolves away and Liverpool away. So it's quite tricky.
You compare that with Villa's fixtures, and Villa's are far more favourable.
Yeah. I'd just be happy for Almiron if he scores, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems like a very lovely, smiley man. He looks.
But they were dominant.
If you made, they've remade some of these Disney classics and they've put them like CGI, so basically they look like humans.
I'm so worried where this is going.
In fact, no, they've made human versions. So Cinderella, they made a human version with somebody in it.
Yeah.
And
They ruined Pete's Dragon.
they ruined Pete's Dragon. They also ruined Beauty and the Beast with
The
Hermione
girl from Harry
Granger
Potter.
as Belle.
Yeah.
Well, I think if they were to do a remake of Morph, of Tony Hart fame, then
Yeah.
I think Almiron would basically be a shoe-in for the role.
Yeah.
Remember
Okay.
Morph?
Yeah, of course I remember Morph. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the youngsters will just think I'm talking about morph suits.
Yeah.
But
it's
yeah,
correct.
look him up, guys. It was a plasticine legend of my childhood. But yeah, don't you think? You see the likeness?
I see the likeness. I feel like we've come away from the subject somewhat.
Oh,
Newcastle.
sorry. Yeah.
We've had discussion about Morph, yogurt, honey
Sorry.
drizzle.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest were a bit disappointing, weren't they? With all
They
all the talk, and if it
Look, it's
wasn't
going
for
to take
Henderson,
time.
Henderson made 7 saves in that game.
There you go. There's a stat. Did you get any save points for that?
Well, he would have got 2 save points for that, yes, but he
Well,
would have
there you
lost a
go.
point for conceding 2 goals.
Ah, yes, of course. Yes, Neco Williams, maybe letting down a few people there.
Oh,
or maybe
Neco,
they've-
like that.
Neco, I'm switching up week in, week out. You know, you say Neco, I say Nico. We'll just, swap it in and out.
Matt Lyman, typically.
So yeah, he will have let a few down. Jay Lings was quiet, as was Johnson really.
Jay Lings was
last week.
selfish.
Oh,
There was a couple of times in the highlights I saw Jay Lings was selfish, which from a fantasy football point of view is a good thing. From a Nottingham Forest point of view, it's a bad thing.
if I was to say to you, you can spend 5 million on Almiron or 6 million on Bruno Guimaraes,
Oh,
who would you go for?
well, Bruno
Left or right?
Guimaraes,
Left or right?
well, it's all. I mean, according to you, it's always left.
It is
and,
always left.
And I have seen on the Twitter that people have genuinely like replied to you saying left on everything. They've genuinely gone, "Oh, thanks so much for your advice."
Well, they're welcome.
And then there's other people now following up said he always says left.
Yeah.
It's always left.
Yeah.
It's a bit awkward. But I would say if you gave me Almiron at 5 million or Jay Lings at 6, I'd go Almiron.
What
I
about
think-
Bruno Guimaraes at 6? Or
It
Almiron
wasn't
at
the,
5?
that wasn't the question, was it? I'm answering a
Yeah.
new question.
Yeah.
I
He's
think
very good. He plays a great through ball, does
it's-
Guimaraes.
But he plays the through ball that then gets passed again.
You're right. He's
He
the
assists the assist.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean, he's got a goal in his locker, as we saw last season. But
Yeah.
I'd go Almiron because I just want him to do well.
Okay. All right. Let's move to Spurs Southampton then. Did you have any assets in this one?
Oh no, I was really nervously watching it because Spurs is the only team and it's sort of top team that I've not got covered.
Okay.
Did kind of want a Spurs asset. Wanted Kane, couldn't afford him. Wanted Son, couldn't afford him. Tempted by Kulusevski, didn't go for him.
I bet he's gone up in price today.
No, he hasn't.
Is he not? Well, he should do.
Well, I'm sure during the week he will. The only 3 price increases so far. We're recording on
Oh.
Monday night. Haaland, Zinchenko, Mitrovic.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Cool. Well, yeah. I mean, as I mentioned already, I binned Harry Kane out of my team after approximately 75 minutes on Saturday. So the game hadn't even finished. I'd seen enough. I'd heard enough.
Flaming pros, Benny!
Indeed. And the people around me were going, "Oh, there's a goal at Spurs," and I was like, "Okay, great." I'd sort of listening to this, and then, "Oh yeah, it's Kulusevski." I thought, "What is going on here? Where is Harry Kane in all this?" Presuming he'll have got some assists. No, he hasn't. But I was really pleased. I did. It's not often I get this right, but I did call Sessegnon, and I did say that he would start over Perisic, and I was
You did.
proved right there.
You did. And the only issue with that is because you had him in your team as well.
Yeah.
He's unlikely to start every game. It's a bit like Zinchenko and Tierney for me. I'm a bit worried. They're not going to start every game and haven't got any bench cover if they don't.
I think he will start most games. And here's a little tip. I think he'll go to the World Cup with England.
Really?
There you go. You heard it first.
Wow.
Yep.
we'll have to wait and see. Next game then, Saints.
Yes.
For what it's worth, Ward-Prowse, only asset you want from Southampton.
And you want to hope
Bazu-
that he gets. You want to hope that you buy him and then he gets a move. Really?
yeah, that's not far wrong.
Hmm.
Bazunu, 4.5 million goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm. Might get you some save points.
Yeah, but he also conceded 4 goals. So
Yeah.
Okay. So the next game was Everton Chelsea. Chelsea underwhelming. They struggled to beat a very injury hit team, didn't they?
They did. Sorry, what did you say? I heard injury hit team, didn't they? And I'm not really sure who you're talking about.
What is going on with you?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Come
I'm
on,
sorry, Carl.
explain yourself.
Well, I'm quite tired. It's 10:15 at night.
Yep.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Well, Everton injury hit. Mina went off injured, and then there's a horrible injury for. Oh, I was watching it.
Certainly was for someone.
I'm so bad at names. So bad at names. Don't get old, people. It's really
Was
rubbish.
he a defender?
Yes, he is defender. I felt really, really sorry for him.
Was he a central defender? Was it
Yeah,
Michael Keane?
it was Ben Godfrey.
Oh, Ben Godfrey.
Yeah, it was. He made a good saving tackle, making up for an error, and immediately he couldn't look at his own leg.
Dear.
It's a small fracture. I think he's going to be out for a while.
Not the first time we've seen Godfrey carried off on a stretcher, is it, Dad's Army fans?
Oh, that is lovely. That
This is just
That's it.
ridiculous.
That's a reference for the pensioners listening. Yeah, Chelsea didn't massively inspire. That's fair to say. I had Sterling in my draft right the way up to the last minute and took him out. Replaced him with Mount, who already is infuriating me. Difficult one. They definitely lack a striker. You'd be interested to see if they do bring somebody in to play through the middle. Sterling sort of started off playing through the middle, and then sort of rotated with Havertz from what I could make out. But
they've got Chilwell, Cucurella, and Alonso, all who can play left back now.
how many crosses do you think Reece James put into the box during that game?
Oh, I mean, do you know the answer, or are you asking me just?
No, I
Okay,
actually
cool.
know. I'll give you a clue. It was the most crosses of any player in any of the games.
Oh, this is exciting. I'm going to say 8.
17.
Oh, that's more than 8.
17 crosses. It's more than double 8. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. Now a lot of those were corners. I think they had 14 corners in the first half.
That's quite a lot of corners.
Yeah. I may double check that, but I think that might have been the case.
No, don't let facts get in the way of a good stat.
But he definitely did put 17 crosses into the box.
Well,
so
I'm impressed.
I'm happy with him as an asset. He kept clean sheets. He got me a couple of bonus points. Happy with him as an asset, and we'll stick with him. Mount, on the other hand, he's probably for the high jump. We'll see.
Probably for the high jump, or have you already pressed the button on him?
Well, I've already pressed the button on him, but then I've put him back in again.
Of course. Right, we'll get there. We'll get there because people have been asking. They worry about you. It's very kind. Very kind. So the next game was Leicester Brentford. I watched this morning through bleary eyes, to be honest, because I've been watching Anthony's plane fly across past Cocos Islands and goodness only knows where, mainly the sea. It's not as interesting if you do download Flight Radar and pay. I mean, I signed up for a 2-week trial. I have no intention of signing up for the annual subscription of £33. But once they're over the water, so once it got past Sri Lanka, it was pretty much just water. So then the overhead view is fairly dull.
There's a lot of water out there. I think
It's
either
surprising.
our bodies are 80% water or the world is 80% water. I can't remember which. One of those facts is true.
I wish there was some water at the moment. Yeah, it's
One-
very arid out there.
One of those facts is true.
Well, we don't need to know which because we're
Well,
not
we'll let you know by the end of the
we're not a
show.
water-based podcast. We're not a
What
water-based
percentage
podcast.
of the human body is water?
Oh, so Ivan Toney scored. Ivan Toney scored.
60% for humans. So I think it is the world.
Doesn't sound Maybe it could be.
80%, I reckon.
People don't tune in for
71%.
this.
71%. Round it up, it is pretty much 80%. So there you go.
I am a grown man, Malcolm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leicester. So I made a call in this game. I made a call. I'm pretty sure I made it on the pod. I made a lot of calls to people last week. Dewsbury
Yeah.
Hall. Did I say that on the pod?
Definitely not on the pod.
Oh, that's disappointing. I said it to somebody.
Well, we can
and
all say things to somebody.
He hit a screamer. He's been scoring goals in pre-season, and look, they're down to the bare bones in terms of squad players. So squad players, or just players, really. So
5 million midfielder, though, he's fighting with
5 million
Almiron.
midfielder. Yeah, those fixtures he's got coming up are they're a bit up and down, but yeah, 5 mil worth considering. Keane Lewis Potter, however, I saw they'd scored a couple. I thought, oh, maybe he's got some goal involvements, but nothing from him as yet. Did start though.
No, he didn't start. Started on the bench.
Did play? Did make an appearance?
Well, you've claimed that he started, and now you're backtracking very
Well,
fast. Lewis Potter got a point. Yeah,
There you go.
he came on
So
for
he-
31 minutes.
Well, that's as good as a start in my book. So
It is from someone who watched you throughout your playing career, followed you around as you were on the bench week after week after week. I
Well-
remember watching in the hail once for you to stay on the bench again. That was great fun.
yeah, look. First of all, it's not my fault that the coach failed to see the invention I could offer the team, and character. Really, maybe not skill, but certainly character.
I mean, you're just saying words like Alan Partridge does.
Well, like the character. I mean, the character would be like Mickey Mouse or
Okay, cool.
yeah. But
Right, next
yeah.
game, Man
Oh, yeah.
United. Man United at home to Brighton. We were unsure what might happen here. Ant was bigging up Harry Maguire, wasn't he? He said they were going to build the team around Harry Maguire.
He would have been delighted to see him play a full 90 minutes for Manchester United and get 0 points. I certainly was, and I've only sent one screenshot, I think, this whole weekend, and that was the one. Maguire, 0
This
points.
is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
and
loved
calm
it.
down.
Absolutely loved that. So they're a mess. They are a mess. I mean, defensively, there's so many spaces. You guys that have got Dallo, ship him out. Swap him out for Saliba. There you go. There's my tip of the week. Dallo out,
Do you
Saliba in.
Do you think that the issue is in the past people feared United, and there's just been a turning point where people think there's probably no need to fear them. They're not very good, and
Oh.
now they attack them, whereas in the past people would have just sat up and defended.
Maybe. Well, I think it's just a jolly day out, isn't it? Everyone loves a trip to Old Trafford these days.
Yeah,
Because you genuinely go there thinking, well, we'll probably get something today.
the whole Marcus
They
Rashford,
are-
get him in. He wants to play for England. That was the
Did
theme
not-
we
yeah,
were
well,
going with last week.
Certainly wasn't the theme I was going with. I actually warned everybody against that very, very strongly.
Yeah,
I would not have a Man United asset anywhere near my squad. Not a single one.
okay, strong
Not
words.
one.
Final game then. West Ham 0, Man City 2. Haaland.
The Haaland show. Look, him and De Bruyne are going to link up so well this season because he runs in behind defenders. He makes great runs, and De Bruyne is probably the best player in the world right now at picking out those runs.
Yeah,
and
De,
sort of
De
threading.
Bruyne.
Oh gosh,
Go on.
I have the needle stuff. You know, I think those two. I mean, De Bruyne off the back of Haaland almost. De Bruyne. If I had Salah, I would genuinely consider making the switch.
I see girls.
I see goals.
me too.
Yeah, I see goals.
I see goals.
Yeah, the issue is it means probably getting rid of Salah and De Bruyne. He could have got a couple of goals in that game and kind of hooked a couple of shots wide, but there's certainly signs of a good partnership there. Everyone's talking up the partnership with Grealish, weren't they? Grealish and Haaland maybe because of a goal scored in pre-season, but De Bruyne, you know what you get with De Bruyne.
Yeah, you do.
Tempted by
you
Billy
pay
Foden?
5 million. You pay 5 million extra. Well, Foden. Spoiler alert: Foden is in. Oh no, he's not. He was in my team earlier. He's not again now. But he was briefly.
What is going on with you?
Yeah.
Well,
going on
I'll
with
tell
your
you.
team?
I'll tell you in a bit. So, what was your point haul out of interest at the end of this week?
So I ended up with 73. I had
Very,
Haaland as
very good.
captain because he was in the last game of the week, so I wanted to have a
Look,
player I could watch.
I think everybody that did well this week. I'm looking at the leagues that I'm in, and you look at everybody at the top. They've all captained Salah or they've captained Haaland. Those of us that were unfortunate enough to captain Kane, those were the 3 biggest picks in terms of captaincy. We've lucked out this week, but our turn will come. I've no doubt about it.
It does feel like, and it's usually I panic at this stage because I realise I've got Saliba and he's gone on loan somewhere in France. But I think this year feels like let's hold on a minute, hold on another week or two, and just see where things are. Let's not panic. Let's not make any rash decisions.
That's it.
What did you get?
I got 54, hence my wild card activation.
Oh
Yeah.
my!
No, Mikey, no, Mikey, that was so not right.
Well, yeah, I've done it. So basically, what happened was I made those 2 transfers, and I was quite content with that because I always thought that I was going to transfer initially Kane to Haaland. A lot of people were on that as an idea. That wasn't rocket science. But I already had Kane and Haaland in my team, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to take Kane and Coutinho out. They're my 2 big problems here. I'm going to bring in Darwin Núñez from Liverpool, and I'm going to splash out on a higher value midfielder.
Who is?
At the time it was I think at the time it was Mason Mount.
Right.
I can't remember, to be honest.
So who have you got now? Who have you got now?
Oh no, it wasn't Mason Mount. I think it was Kulusevski. Anyway, who have I got? I've got lots of people now, to be honest, mate. Well, basically what happened was, so I did that and I was like happy. Okay, 4 point spend. For me, that's pretty conservative. I'll run with it. And by conservative, I mean prim and proper rather than ruining the country. But then I moved on and
could get messy.
It already has, I'm afraid, Nigel. It already has. So then I did that, and then I was playing around in the evening, as you do, like, oh, what would this look like? What would this look like? And I don't know what possessed me to do it, but then I clicked confirm, and I made another 4 transfers. Now at that point, I'm staring down the barrel of what a 20-point hit, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking, well, I can take the 20-point hit here, but actually, is there going to come a time in this season
a 20-point hit after week 1?
Is there going to come a time in the season where I'm going to need to spend more than 20 points to? All right, just give me a chance, Carl. Is there going to come a time when I'm going to spend more than 20 points? Well, yes, probably. But in theory, no. So I thought, well, if I hit my wild card, I then recoup all those points that were spent. I blooming hope I do anyway.
You do,
so, yeah, good. So anyway, so I've changed it. The problem is I've been playing around with it a bit today, and I've gone back to bar 2. I've gone back to my original team, which is it's a bit annoying, really. Yeah. I've even brought Coutinho back in.
What? After subbing him off after revealing he was being subbed off at the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now I've brought him back in.
Yeah, so, that's a bit of a mess, isn't it?
It's a bit of a mess, but look, no points lost in theory. I just don't have the luxury of one of the 2 wild cards available to me this season. It is what it is.
Gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so what score did you end up on?
Oh, 54.
54. Which
now, how did Ant get on? Because I did promise him a mobile phone, a PlayStation, and 2 tickets to a Bournemouth game. If he managed to beat me with his team, with Harry Winks and Harry Maguire.
Well, you got blooming lucky because he got 54 as well.
Wowee. Okay.
So his team with Harry Maguire as its backbone, he got 54. He had Cancelo, Koulibaly, he got him 6. Zinchenko, De Bruyne, Haaland. And
nice, okay.
I think his team's set up all right. He made a late decision to get rid of Harry Winks. Which
Did he?
Is a bit of a shame. Yeah, he's
that is a shame.
Squad. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. Okay. Well, it is what it is. What about punts? Can you remember who had who for punts? This is where we pick a player of 2% or less ownership. We take it to the Twitterati as well, our followers on Twitter, who They make their predictions.
Yes, they do.
And if one of us succeeds over the other two, we're guaranteed not to have our captain picked. The other two fight it out, and their captain is picked by a listener who has done similarly well with a low ownership player. Did I go Sessegnon? I think I did, didn't I?
You did go Sessegnon. Yeah.
Oh, that's a 7-point sweetener for me. What about Ant? What did he do?
I've got a feeling he said he was going to stick with Harry Winks for his punt.
Did he actually?
Yeah, I think he did. And if he didn't, he's not here to defend himself.
Well, I love that.
And he just keeps repeating himself constantly. So I don't think he's got anything here that goes into the depth of backtracking. So I think he did go Harry Winks.
Okay.
And I went Patrick Bamford. So Anthony lost that. But it's not really a game about losing. It's a game about winning, and you won that. So well done.
Thank you. So
Yeah, well done.
So basically, obviously, Ant's not here to defend himself.
Correct. Yeah.
So I thought I could do a challenge for you. If you can complete the challenge, it's a quiz. If you can complete the quiz and successfully,
It's a quiz. Is that what you want to hear?
Hold on, in a moment. If you can complete that challenge, we'll give Ant the captain's pick over. But if you can't complete the challenge, you have to have your captain picked. How does that sound?
It sounds okay, except that I've heard that Anthony has gone out to Australia to visit his sister, and therefore he's also told me he is not stumping up £5 a day to be able to use his mobile phone. No, sirree.
Well, it's got the internet there that you go on the Wi-Fi, surely.
Well, it's got it on the Wi-Fi, but is this reliable enough that he's gonna? I can just see Anthony saying, "Oh, I didn't see a message."
What are you saying to me here, Phil?
I think Ant's going to try and get at this, and I'm thinking maybe we should store up the punt wins.
Oh, what a bottle job!
Over the next few weeks. So when Ant's back, we'll have a mega punt, and maybe that week, not only do they get to pick captain, they get to pick the whole starting lineup, like from your squad.
Fine.
Big twist.
Fine, it is a big twist, but let it be on record. Let it be put on record now to you and Alf Stewart that I got 7 points this week and I won this week.
Yeah, that's fine. I had Bamford. I got 5.
Okay.
Just check how many Harry Winks got. Oh, none. Yep, none.
So do you not want a little quiz just for fun?
Oh, for sure, Dr. Dre. Let's go. That's the intro. That is absolutely not the quiz theme.
Hit it.
It's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz. The loser gets their captain picked by a listener with great instinct. Sometimes cruel and sometimes kind. The listener is always right. It's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz.
Hooray, indeed. Great to have the old quiz back. Now, before I do the quiz, I want to let you know that it's because we're brothers. It's just the two of us for a couple of weeks. So
brothers, not lovers, as we made very clear to the Portuguese hotelier when we went to Eurovision.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That was an awkward moment there briefly. So I am going to talk about brothers. Before I do that, do you know which famous brothers?
What? You're going to talk about brothers?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about brothers.
We've already had yogurt chat.
No, it's
fine. The deep dive into the fixtures has taken us quite a while, but I think that was better than previewing fixtures almost.
Okay,
we'll let the listeners decide.
Just simply, which famous brothers were in real life called Craig and Lamar?
Oh, well, Lamar is far too modern for it to be the Chuckle brothers, so I'm going away from that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Out Here brothers.
You know what, mate? Don't stop. Wiggle. You are correct. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh!
Let me hear you say wayo.
This is amazing. Ant, what do you think of that answer?
Yeah, I'm proud of you, Cam. You're doing well down there.
Yeah,
thank you.
Very good.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Okay,
I mean,
well, let's see if you can
incredible.
do similarly well at my Premier League quiz. So
that's not the win. That's unbelievable.
That's not the win.
To pull that out of all the brothers, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, it's very good. It's very good.
Super Mario brothers. That
Yeah.
was
So
my
just to
next
be clear,
question.
for listeners that are of a certain vintage, they might know who the Out Here Brothers are. But they were peak dance hits in the 90s. Don't Stop, Wiggle, Wiggle. There was a rude version and a clean version. If you were 13 at the time, you thought the rude version was hilarious. And they did Boom, 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 Let Me Hear You Say Wayo, amongst others. So here we go then. So there are 46 pairs of brothers who have both played in England's top flight in the history of English football. Now, we've got a couple of options here. Depends how
Yeah,
easy
yeah.
or hard you want to go.
They're
So
called Phil
I
and-
can
Phil and
ask
Gary.
you to name me 10 pairs of brothers to complete the challenge, or I can give you 10 brothers and you can tell me who their other brother was that played.
Oh, the second one, please. I
I
can't.
thought you
I
might
can't
do
think
that.
of anyone apart from the Nevilles.
Here we go then. This is going to blow your mind.
I really
Okay, we'll go from difficult to we'll go from easy to difficult. I'm not giving you the Neville brothers. Number 1, Rio Ferdinand's brother.
Oh, Anton. Yeah, Anton Ferdinand. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, next up,
One. I'll write it down.
Colo
Colo
Torre's brother.
Torre. Yeah, what was Colo? Oh, it was the better Torre at Man City. I can't think of his name. I can see him.
Oh no.
Yaya.
Very good. Yes, yes, it is. Yaya Binks. Next on then, that's a Star Wars reference. Next up, this one's gonna. I don't think you're gonna get this.
Okay, great.
Kieran Dyer's brother.
Well, Ali Dyer, that was a scam, so I'm not going there.
He famously played for Southampton. Yeah, yeah.
Paul Graham Souness.
Actually, this guy did also play for Southampton at one time or another.
Really? Nathan Dyer.
It is Nathan Dyer. I did not know they were brothers.
I didn't know they're brothers, but it's the only other Dyer I can think of.
3 out of 3.
Apart
Well
from-
done.
Apart from obviously Spurs defender.
3 out of 3. Here we go. Next
Yep.
up then, Shola Amiobi.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know him. I can picture him. Yeah. Sammy Amiobi. Is it Sammy?
Correct. Well done. With I think he's currently with Bolton Wanderers. Last I saw him. Okay. Next up, Sean Wright Phillips.
Bradley Wright Phillips.
Oh, straight in there for 5 out of 5. You're doing very, very well.
this
this
is
one could-
incredible, really.
This one could get you though.
Oh, great.
John Arne Risa.
Come again? He's got a brother, is he?
Got a brother that played in the Premier League, mate.
Reese's Pieces. John Arne
I can
Reese.
tell you, he actually played with his brother.
Well, we all have fun. John Arne Reese. I'm going to say his name. Something from Scandinavia. So I'm going to say his name was Henrik Arne.
Oh, hard luck, hard luck. Well, it's not going to be a 10 out of 10 for you. It was
No.
Bjorn Helge Risa.
Oh, cut me some slack. Yeah.
Played 15 times for Fulham. Bjorn Helge
Oh,
Risa.
please for him.
Okay, next up then. Let's go for Luke Moore of Aston Villa. Played actually with his brother.
Oh, yeah, Luke Moore. He wasn't very good, Luke Moore.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's all gone downhill.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you, Aaron.
It was Stefan Moore.
I would have probably been here for several days before I got to Stefan.
Don't worry. Okay, next up, Michael Keane.
Michael Keane.
This is question number 7, I believe. Michael Keane.
Will Keane.
It is Will Keane, currently with Wigan Athletic. Was
Back in the game.
a striker for Manchester United youth coming through. Okay.
Perfect.
I mean,
Two more.
this is
Two more.
Okay. Is it 2 more? Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you Justin Hoyt.
Oh, Will you
Played
indeed?
for Arsenal, I believe, or QPR, one or the other.
Yeah, I think maybe both. I don't know the name of his brother, I'm afraid.
It was Gavin Hoyt.
It was Gavin Hoyt. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Okay.
Okay.
Two more?
No,
Oh,
last one.
is it really?
It is.
That's a
I think
shame.
the listeners will be pleased.
Oh, really? I think they're loving it. You'll
Well,
never
it's
get this
We haven't got to
in a
listen to questions. We're
million.
55 minutes in.
Okay, that's true. You'll never get this in a million years, but it's a cracking
great.
one. I only learnt this today. Leon Court.
Leon Court. Do you remember Court's the furniture store?
I do.
Do you remember when our sister Vicky soiled herself in the ball pit that they had there, and we had to just
why
run?
I've got many questions about that moment in time. Why have you got a ball pit in a furniture store?
To provide entertainment for the kids, so the parents can get talked into buying a sofa.
Okay, and two, why was our sister allowed to just shit herself in a ball pool?
Oh,
Why couldn't we have just taken her to a
Bleep
toilet?
button at 55.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Anyway, the brother of Leon Court. This is going to blow
hang
your
on,
mind. Play for Wimbledon.
haven't said
You
yet,
won't. You won't get it.
Yeah. Court. Leon Court. See you in.
It's not CUN. No. It is Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Nope,
They're
wouldn't have thought
brothers.
that. Wow, that's impressive. That's surprising. It's
Well, I don't know what the final score was, but you certainly would have had your captain picked were it in a different.
Well, I got 6. Let's see what Ant thinks of my performance.
I know I haven't always been perfect,
You can say that again.
but you accept me for my flaws and my strengths. And I think you're clever, you're certainly beautiful, you're kind and forgiving. And I can't wait to be your husband and share that road ahead.
Well, that's all.
Strange.
That took a turn for the weird. I won't lie.
Bit of a twist.
Anyway,
Anthony.
that
So-
was our quiz.
That was our quiz. It's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz. The loser gets their captain picked by a listener with great instinct. Sometimes cruel and sometimes kind. The listener is always right. It's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz. Absolutely, hooray. Some might say that having got to 57 minutes and not done listener questions yet might mean we've done too many of Ant's Australian sound clips. So apologies for that. It's unbelievable that we've got this far into the podcast.
Well, we could do some rapid fire list of questions.
Okay, you ready for
wind
them?
things up? Let's do it. Hit me with them.
So, FPL Rafiki, is
Yes.
Darwin captaincy versus Palace being overlooked? Scored 7 goals, 7 goals and assists in the past
Yes.
3 games, all from the bench. Is Liverpool's main threat alongside Salah. With 5 subs, he could also be on late pens when Salah is rested on games.
Oh, Rafiki. First of all, congratulations on the name, presumably named after the WWE wrestler or WWF as it was then before the Pandas stole it. I think he is being overlooked. I think it's a great shout if you haven't got Haaland. I just feel that, and I love AFC Bournemouth, and I hope I'm wrong, but Haaland looks the really obvious pick this weekend.
He looks obvious, but Liverpool play on Monday night. It's the last game of the weekend. So even if you've got Haaland and he does well, you've still got hope all of Monday.
Yeah. Look, also, people will be looking at Salah's hauls against Crystal Palace over the last 5 seasons. I don't think he's had anything less than 7 in the last 5 games against Palace. So, that's something to think about as well. But for me, it would definitely be Haaland if you got him all day long.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. We've had a question come in from FPL Sue.
Hi, Sue. Hi, Sue.
Not sure it's spelled like that. It's spelled SIUU.
Oh, like the weird Ronaldo celebration, the annoying one.
Yeah, he said he's panicked and brought in Haaland for Kane.
That's not panic. That's a good move.
Well, he took out Diaz and brought in Zinchenko because he already had 3 City players.
Okay.
He wants you to tell him it's not a bad move taking
Sue.
a
Sue's-
-4 in the first game week.
Sue,
And maybe you're the man for this.
Sue, if I can just call you just plain old Sue for now. I think you've made a very good move there. I would have perhaps, upon reflection, I would have kept the Man City option at the back, and I would have gone Diaz to Walker or Ake. Oh no, that you can't. You're trying to swap him out. Zinchenko, great move. Yeah,
Okay.
-4. That's fine. That'll pay you back. You'll get paid back very quick time. Zinchenko's run for Arsenal is strong. Leicester at home. I fancy him to pick up points. And obviously Man City's run is kind of their fixture proof. So yeah, good move, Sue. Good move.
Hi, Sue. Right. FPL Commander says Salah
Yes.
or Haaland for captaincy in game week 2. Since Scott Parker arrived, any teams tried to attack us in numbers. You can only recall successes, i.e. 3 points at all promotion rivals when they did that, and 1 point against Fulham in the Championship. So Salah or Haaland for captaincy. You kind of just touched on this. What will you be doing? What would you do if you had Salah? Because you don't, do you?
I would still be putting on Haaland, and I think it's whilst I respect the question, I think us playing against the likes of Sheffield United and Middlesbrough and Huddersfield is quite a different kettle of fish to us playing against Man City. And I think we're probably coming up against one of, if not the best striker in the world. So yeah, I think I go Haaland over Salah.
Okay. I will say the opposite because he's in the last game of the season, game of the weekend. So I'll be going Salah. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that. I've got more questions, but they've not formatted properly. So my apologies. I can't see them. So we'll read them out next week and hope they're still relevant.
Okay.
And if they're not, they're going to be so much easier to answer. Much easier to answer. So we'll sound really clever. Mike, you wanted to do a piece on things you hate most in football. We've had some suggestions in.
Yeah.
I thought maybe if we pick a suggestion each week and we decide whether it goes in the bin.
Yeah, it's the feature that Room 101 could have been. I don't want it to feel like I've just blagged a format from elsewhere, because that's in no way the case.
Absolutely not. No, that simply wouldn't happen. So
it's actually inspired by the fact that you constantly moan about things you hate about football.
That's because I'm a misery. And I know you want me to say what my most hated thing about football is, and it's the fans. They're terrible.
Wow.
I hate football fans. I mean, I used to have a season ticket for years, and now when I go, I try and sit in the family stand with my daughter. Sometimes I'll take her. On the rare occasions I can go. The family stand is full of middle-aged men with no children, so I don't know how they got tickets. And they do.
I got mine because I work there.
Okay, cool. But I don't know how they've got in, sitting on their own, no children, swearing constantly. It's
really?
with unbelievable bias as well. Like, oh, ref, that's never a foul. He kicked him in the head. It's a foul.
Okay, so
right.
So I can just about cope with your gripe about middle-aged men sitting on by themselves in the family stand. But I think what you've got onto there is the unbelievable bias. That's a good one. So that's your contribution this week, and we'll see who has the best and who I'm gonna. So who's contributing from our listeners?
Well, Lord Ophiuchus, and I've never known how to pronounce his name.
Is that what Ryu says when he lets the special move go in Street Fighter?
You can. He says the thing he hates most about football is captaining Kane in game week 1. Similar to you.
We've got something more generically about football from one of our listeners that we could put up against overly biased fans.
Okay, we'll bank the rest. Neymar, all the talent in the world, spends all this time cheating and rolling around on the floor. Your views?
I don't know that he has got all the talent in the world, because I think if he did, he would have applied that, and he would. I don't think with Neymar. I don't think he's a wasted talent. He's got himself to a certain level in the game, and so I don't think it's about that. But I think he does care too much about image, and it's all about the move to the PSG kind of reflects that. He went there and he was very open about the fact that he wanted to win Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason he moved. He didn't move because he wanted to be competitive. He didn't move because he wanted to win the Champions League. He moved because he wanted to further his own brand and stroke his own ego. So, I'm not a big fan of Neymar. But do I dislike Neymar more than I like? Do you know what I like? I like a bit of bias. I'll put Neymar in the bin this week.
You like a bit of bias. Okay, well, that's fair. I think Neymar, if his career had started 10 years later, he would have just become a YouTuber and not a professional footballer.
Valid.
I think he would have preferred that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, if you've got something you hate about football, just as a counterbalance to all this, loving we have with the Premier League, please do get in touch on the Twitter. And our Twitter handle is, Phil?
FPL Threesome Pod. So, talking of our Twitter handle, we've got FPL Threesome Pod League. Smooth transition.
Oh, really smooth.
Thank you. We should read our top 5.
Okay.
I know it's early doors, but people have done well first week. So
listen, they put the Premier League table up on Match of the Day, so we can do this.
Oh, I saw it. Bournemouth for a second. Unbelievable scenes. So 5th place, Kulu Hoops. See what they've done there, Mike?
Kulu Hoops,
like hula hoops, but Kulu for Kulusevski.
That's
feels worse now. I've had to explain it.
Yeah, it's poor. That very poor. Okay.
No, you don't like that. Okay.
No.
Well, Kula Hoops is in 5th place. John Armstrong's team, 89 points. Well done, that man.
Well done, John.
Then you've got OK Cool with their team Moon Shadow in joint second. There's 3 teams in joint second, all on 90 points.
Wow.
Olatain Yusuf with Olafrika 11 and Arsen Ahmad with Darwin. But top of the pops for the first week.
Yes.
This season.
Yes.
Tom Suckling with Origi Pirate Material.
What's a lovely play on the streets hit for those that aren't familiar with the garage music scene.
Done very well there. And considering our league's got like 600 odd people in, I know Tom Suckling. And there can only be one Tom Suckling. There certainly is in my world. I went to school with him since I was about 10. I've known Tom Suckling.
I mean, how well do you know him now? When was the last time you met up with Tom Suckling?
Oh, very long time ago. But socially on Facebook occasionally, something like that. He's actually spent more time with our mum than us recently because I think he
not another one.
No, I think he. Oh, please no. I think he fitted a side panel to her bath. Yeah, there's an interesting fact for people who are listening. Anyway, Tom Suckling, 95 points. Well done, Tom Suckling, with your 95 points. He had Edison, Ake, Aspilicueta, and Thiago Silva, and Jorginho, a trio from Chelsea. He had Mitrovic, Haaland was his captain, and he had Salah.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
And he had if you're Fantasy Threesome podcast fan Tyrone Mings on the bench.
Did he really? Well, there you go. Look, league code. If you're listening and haven't joined it yet, why would you not? The league code is as follows: PQJIK4. PQJIK4. And whenever I'm speaking to anybody with letters and numbers these days, I do like to state it is all in lowercase.
Okay, cool. So, Mike, we've just got one more question before we briefly, and I do mean briefly, go through the fixtures for this week and do our punt. Because we kind of deep dived into what's happened so far with the fixtures earlier, so there's no need to panic. You will be going to bed shortly.
Thank goodness.
We've had one more question about wild cards and whether to jump on players after 1 week or do we sit back. Now, you've played your wild card, but that's because you accidentally transferred people out.
Yes.
So would you suggest that's a good thing to do now? Did you see enough that's going to make you flip your whole team upside down? Probably not, because you've made 2 changes from your original team.
Yeah, no, I don't think there was enough to, if you had a team that was reasonably template, shall we say, then no, I don't think there's any need to rip it up and start again. I think, most of those template teams involved known quantities, with the exception of maybe Haaland, and maybe in some cases Darwin, as he's on the game. Then both of those came through the first test with flying colours. So I don't think there's anybody, and I don't think there's anybody in terms of big hitters that had a real stinker, with the exception of Kane. And I don't think you can really genuinely judge Kane on one game. I have done, but I don't think anybody in their right mind genuinely does, unless you're looking to swap him out to Haaland, in which case I can understand why you do that. But yeah, nobody had a stinker, and there were no real shining lights that suddenly kind of emerged, and you thought, oh, well, you know what, I've got to have them. People probably aren't going to be jumping on Trossard just because he scored a couple.
That was gross. It was gross.
Yeah, well, but they certainly won't be jumping on Trossard.
This is just ridiculous.
Yeah, sorry, it's late. Martinelli, I think, some people may be looking at switching across to him, given that he had a good game, is there at 6 mil.
Yeah, I've got Saka. Would you stick with Saka? Would you go to Martinelli? My plan is stick with Saka.
Well, you save yourself 2 mil.
You do. Saka's on pens, and I think through the season...
Is he on pens? You sure about that?
No. But I've seen him take penalties more recently than not. So I'm saying he's on pens.
I reckon Jesus will be having them,
Okay. Yeah, no, he took pens in a friendly before the season.
Did he? Okay, all right.
Yeah, in a pre-season game, he definitely took a penalty that Jesus was playing in that game.
All right.
And I think throughout the season, Saka will be the best bet. And this is where I've got to not chase last week's points.
Yeah, there's a danger in that for sure. There is a danger in that for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So you've jumped. I'm sticking. And
learn from my mistakes, people. I'm happy for that to happen. I have to have a role in this podcast somehow, where I actually offer, some kind of insight or advice. And
regret.
I've had a few. Just don't do what I do, and I think you'll probably be all right. Live vicariously through me. If you want to do that kind of wild, play with gay abandon, live vicariously through me. I'll fill you in every week on what's happening, but actually play the rest of you out there, play the game, fairly sensibly. I would.
See what Ant thinks.
I am a grown man, Malcolm.
He's a grown man, so yeah, I can only assume that means he agrees with me.
Yeah, he probably does.
Yep. Okay. Wojciech, Sampon Wojciech's got in touch. What's the over under on Mike's total hits this season?
Oh, I don't know what that means. Left.
Will it be over 200 or under 200?
Oh, I see. We've got to find. We've got to find. Yeah, where's the tipping balance that people would not be sure.
Well, where people would be surprised, I suppose. I'm going. You've made a terrible start. So, how many transfers have you made now? I know you played your wild card, but how many transfers have you made this week? You can see it if you click on your transfer history.
Oh, can I? What do I do? Do I click on transfers?
Yeah, you're watching. Might be educated live on air. I'll just
maybe you'd be educating other people as well. I mean, they probably not in a situation where they need to count how many transfers they've done.
See what Ant thinks.
So hold on.
What is going on with you? Come on, explain yourself.
You've certainly asked that quite a lot of times already.
That's what you do to people.
Transfers. Okay, I'm on transfers. Now
transfers. What? Transfer history?
Oh, I don't know where that is. Am I on the internet or am I on my phone? Or sorry, you know what I mean?
Well, I can't speak for you.
Game week transfers. Do I go on my team?
Oh, I feel like I'm trying to teach Mum how to use a remote control here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, don't worry about it because I can't.
Game week history, game week points.
Yeah. You go to transfers.
Transfers, yes, Mum.
At the bottom, if you scroll down to that screen, it says transfer history. This is an education for everyone listening.
I've gone past the fixtures. Do I go back up a bit?
No, just go to pick team.
Oh, pick team. No, you said transfers, Phil.
Yeah, scroll down.
What, from pick team?
Yeah, then it says transfers and finance. Transfers on the near the very bottom.
Oh, mate. Honestly, I've got no idea. I would say I've probably made 20 or 25 transfers already. No, many more than that, actually. Where do I look?
I feel like people don't care anymore.
Let's just say like 25
Okay, cool.
already made,
Yeah,
but plenty more to come.
I forgot the original question because it was so long ago. And I've no idea what thinks.
Down the flaming crows, Vinny!
Yeah, hardly
He's
a
not
surprise.
alone. He is not alone.
Yeah. So let's quickly go through the fixtures then, so we know what's coming up.
Yes. What are they?
Okay. Do you want me to read them, or do you want to have a go at reading? Since people
Oh, I
hear
can do
enough of
reading.
my voice, you can
Yeah,
do
I
reading.
I can do reading. Here we go.
Oh, excellent.
Aston Villa on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. They host Everton. It's the Gerrard Lampard. There won't be room in the dugouts for both of them. Arsenal host Leicester at 3:00. That's the first of them, along with Brighton, Newcastle, Man City, Bournemouth, Southampton against Leeds, and Wolves against Fulham. Mitro hat-trick. I am calling it now. The 5:30 kickoff is Brentford against Manchester United. And then moving on to the Sunday, Nottingham Forest, West Ham. That doesn't excite me as a fixture, I'll be honest, but that's your 2:00. Chelsea Spurs, that's more like it. 4:30. That is a Super Sunday.
Yeah, I'm gonna want a Spurs player. Or yeah, I don't want to sit and watch that with no one in my team. I got Mendy. I don't want to cheer on a goalkeeper.
No.
So I may have to bring in someone.
And then the big finish, Liverpool host Crystal Palace next Monday. And I've just been told that my wife's going out, so I can't play football. And you know what? With that fixture on the horizon and Diaz and Darwin in my side currently, I don't mind so much.
Okay, so who's your punt going to be this week then? This the player
My
with
punt-
under 2% ownership.
Yeah, my punt this week is going to be Matt Targett of Newcastle. They're away at Brighton. He's owned by 1.4% of players.
Okay, I like that. I like
Thank
what
you.
you've done there. Ooh, what do I do here? I'm tempted to go Brennan Johnson. He's just on the
Okay, yeah.
2% line.
Oh, that's
I'm not allowed to go for
Has
Patrick
to be
Bamford.
under. It has to be under 2%.
Can I go for Patrick Bamford again?
What is his
7.
percentage?
He's got 1.5% ownership. He's got a price of £7.5 million. He's playing Southampton. Let's remember
Wowee.
how bad they are.
His eyes will be lighting up against those. Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
You can have him. You can have him.
Thank you so much.
No
I
worries.
do
And I
like
can tell
Patrick
you
Bamford.
that Ant has picked Harry Maguire. So
That's it. I've had enough. I've put up with your flaming bacon and eggs. I've put up with your flaming vacuum cleaner. I will not have you treating me like a child. Is that clear? Now get out!
He's not a fan of that idea, Mike.
well, that's the way it's gone, mate. If you jet off to the other side of the country with no concern for your podcast host, then that's what can happen.
Seems fair. Okay, right then. I suppose that just leads us to say goodbye. You got anything else you'd like to contribute? I mean, did you find where transfers were, or would that be
No, still not
a
found.
cliffhanger? to
Still
next
not
week?
found. But by
We'll
God, I'll
write-
let you know how many I make next week.
So exciting. So exciting. Have a good game week, everybody. Anthony will be back in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, he'll be very tired. Who knows? He may well transfer Harry Winks in.
Do you want to? Do you want
I-
to play out with
oh.
the rude version of Out Here Brothers and Don't Stop Wiggle Wiggle?
No, I've already got to bleep you because on 55 minutes, 55 seconds, you said something bad. So, no, I'm fine for that. I'm happy just to play with our outro.
It is what it is. Check it out on Spotify, gang.
Cheers, guys. Have a good week. Take care.
Much love. Bye bye now.